Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Multiverse Media's Spider-Man No Way Home spoiler talk, review, reaction. We're talking all things spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, please like this video, go watch this film as soon as possible, come right back, and let's talk everything that you just saw. I'm your boy JP. I got my boy with me. Introduce yourself.
They call me Monty McFly, aka D. Mickey the Montre. What's going on, JP? How you feel, man?
Oh man, this movie is the reason why we started this channel, man. So the fact that we're here
Literally
doing this is amazing. Now, I had a little glimpse of your response yesterday after I texted you. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with my reaction before you ruin everything.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
This movie is easily an 8.59 out of 10 movie.
I agree.
It is what the gravity of what we just witnessed. We just saw Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield come back as Spider-Man.
They're here. We're here.
It cannot be like, it can't be underplayed. I'm gonna be watching this movie for years to come.
Easy.
This is easily, I now have respect for Tom Holland Spider-Man. Because I didn't respect him before. He wasn't Spider-Man. He was Iron Boy Jr. So Aunt May dying, the freaking symbiote is now in the freaking MCU, dude. Spider-Man is now, he's Spider-Man again. He's broke. Nobody knows who he is. He doesn't have Aunt May anymore, dude. Aunt May's dead, bro. Like, the amount of things that happen in this movie are insane.
Yeah.
And I think the experience was perfect. The story, now the script, there were some problems in the script. That's why it's like an 8.59, because there were some things where like, okay, that's convenient. You know what I'm saying? Some things like the magic machine in Happy's apartment that could create anything. That's pretty insane.
Fabricator.
That's pretty insane. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire coming back right as the moment where Tom Holland needed them most. It was perfect. Tom Holland does an amazing performance. It's deep, emotional when he's beating the stank out of Green Goblin. Dude, that last fight between him and Green Goblin, I was watching this like, you've never seen Tom Holland Spider-Man do, he's never had to fight anybody before. So seeing Green Goblin be that guy for him was insane. But that was my initial reaction. What do you got going on?
Okay. I 100% agree. 8.59 out of 10. And the reason is I feel like they did a really good job with what they were trying to do. Like the goals that they set to accomplish, they did extremely well. Like having Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland, the chemistry between them, the three-peat, as I want to call them, the chemistry between them was hilarious. The conversations they had about the web shooters and when Ned said Peter and all, hey, no, I'm Peter, 1, 2, 3, and then like, you're amazing. Like all of that type of stuff, I was in love with 100%. The freaking symbiote is in the MCU now. I just like this movie. I liked the movie. So I don't want to, switch gears, but I did like the movie. I wrote down some things that I did like. You want to do that real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
So number 1, Ned just is magic.
That's gonna be Doctor Strange's apprentice, bro.
Bro, I was like, okay, Ned just is opening portals now. Something Doctor Strange had to work on. Doctor Strange. Ned was like, oh, accidentally.
Yeah.
Number 2, I did like rest in peace, Aunt May.
Yeah.
Pumpkin bomb to the face.
Yeah, you did say that.
And then,
I saw that, yeah.
And then I love the fact that Wong is Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh, yeah. He's a great Sorcerer Supreme.
That's amazing to me. Like, Doctor Strange goes somewhere. You've been dusted for 5 years. Wong has been handling business. Wong was busy during this movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like real
Yeah.
life. So I'm with it.
Okay, what are some of the things you didn't like?
That's a longer list.
Let's get into it.
All right, man. So I'll just combine these 2 points into one. So with this movie, with No Way Home, okay, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage is now solidified as an absolute brick. not even just a brick, it's an airball.
Yeah. As an
Over the backboard, like they might as well have shot on the other rim. Okay?
Yeah.
Because this is spoilers. So we did 2 after credit scenes now where Venom joins the MCU.
Yeah, because if that's the case, then the first one never needed to exist anyway, because they were just doing it again in this one.
And they didn't have to use Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
They could have done a completely separate Venom that we could get in another movie. It's just all this hype about Tom Hardy being in this movie, and it didn't even have to happen that way.
Yeah.
That's the first point. Number 2, why did we do the Frightful 5?
The Fatal 5, that's what I'm calling them. The Fatal 5.
The Fatal 5. Why are we doing F5 in here? You could have threw in anybody.
Anybody. Literally anybody.
Literally anybody. Come on. You had it.
Yeah.
You had it right there. And I told my wife, Kayla, I said, babe, you realize that the bad guys were actually outnumbered in this movie. It was the three Spider-Man, Doc Ock, Doctor Strange, Ned, and MJ versus Lizard, Sandman, Electro, and Green Goblin. They're absolutely outnumbered. Like, it wasn't even...
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, y'all. And also for something I didn't like, I wrote down that Ned is just magic. I was like, you got to give me something there. Give me a wink to something. Don't just give me the sparkles. I just come on, Ned, just a little bit. I'm still going. I know you're not gonna. I already know because you're a Spider-Man nerd.
Yeah.
I know me and you're about to butt heads right here. But the new suit.
Oh, come on!
No, bro.
Come on!
Can't do it, bro.
Come on! What?
I can't
New
do it.
suit?
Bro. I can't do it. Go ahead.
What is okay? No, but like, explain what.
Bro, I want to like the homage to the classic Spider-Man suit, but it was just way too metallic.
Dude, okay, so here's the thing about that. Number one, I will agree with you in the sense where like we didn't get a really good look at it. It was at night. He was swinging around very fast. The camera was shaky. We never.
My man looked like an android.
Yeah, it did look like, it kind of looked like the spider armor from the comics from a little bit. But here's what I will say. It literally hit me when I woke up this morning. He modeled his new suit after the other Spider-Man.
Okay.
Because think about it. Before, his suit was red and black. The logo was smaller. But now he brings back the blue. It looks a lot more like Tobey and Andrews. Like, he saw the other Spider-Man and said, that's what Spider-Man is supposed to look like.
I want to be more like that.
He created that suit himself. There's barely any technology involved from what we know. He made the suit himself. Dude, we're Spider-Man again. So that suit, we just butted heads on that. I disagree.
Then the gauntlet is down. I know. I love the homage to it. I just feel like they could have done a better job because I like the realistic approach they do to these suits. And so if they would have just toned down the brightness just a smidgen, I would have nothing to say. He looks like an android running through New York City right there.
Yeah, no, and there's that's some of the case with some of the CGI here is the other Spider-Men, they CGI them sometimes. Versus back in their own movies, they never CGI'd the suit. And
right.
In this movie, they CGI'd the suits. And I was able to catch it. I didn't really like those moments, but I was able to forgive them. I mean, it's the MCU. We come to expect that much at least.
Right. And I think that's where I'm going. Like, I want them to go even bigger. I want them to take that step up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another thing that I was kind of like, about is Daredevil wasn't in this movie, bro.
Yeah.
Matt Murdock had like 7 lines, I think.
But that was still dope though, bro.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. But it's like, if the movie overall felt like, okay, I'll put it to you like this. You remember when we were a kid and you went like Halloween and you went trick-or-treating?
Yeah.
And you come back with this big old bag of candy and you're like, oh, I'm gonna tear this candy up. And your mom said you can only have 3 pieces. That's what this movie felt like. I'm like, but we got all this candy right here. And they're like, nope, 3 pieces. And that's what it felt like. Like, you want Matt Murdock? Okay, but no Daredevil. And only for half a scene. You want the Sinister Six? I'll give you 5 and 4.5. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then they dangled Miles in front of you.
I love that. I love that. When
They did
Jamie
it twice
Foxx,
though.
dude, when Jamie Foxx says that, man, there's got to be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere. I said, there is a black Spider-Man out there.
How we fix and bring Miles Morales into this movie, because it's almost not fair that he wasn't a part of this Spider-Verse situation.
I would actually disagree with you. I would say that I don't mind him not being in this movie. I would have loved it if he, I mean, that would have been like, I would have passed out, you know. I mean, seeing Andrew and Toby come back would have been great, but if Miles showed up, I would have cried and died. But this was a great moment between the 3 Spider-Man that we've already seen. And then in this next one, once he gets out of college, he'll be a lot older. At the end of this next trilogy that Tom Holland's about to get, then you bring in Miles.
We're gonna do it again. Another Spider. Okay, let me get back to what I was saying.
Okay.
How we can fix this, okay? We know the people that came there, the Fatal 5, right? Yeah. That they died at the hands of Spider-Man. Except we know Lizard and Sandman did not.
Yeah.
Right? All they had to do, okay, is say that this Lizard is from a universe where the Miles Morales killed him. Or this Sandman is from a universe where Ghost Spider killed him. And you wouldn't have to say names. You wouldn't even have to, say Gwen Stacy or Miles Morales. All they would have to say is, the Spider-Man I know wears a black suit, black and red, and shot me with lightning powers. Spider-Man with lightning powers? Who could that be? And he could turn invisible. That's all you had to say. That's confirmation this is from Miles Morales' universe. And then I'm not 100% sure with Ghost Spider's actual feats. I should be, but I'm not. Whatever she's like unique to her character that she can do, my Spider-Man did this. It was Spider-Woman or whatever they want to call her. Like, poof, that's how they fixed that whole script. Then we brought in 3 other universes, but I was at 9 out of 10. Solid 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, there are things that don't work in this movie. Like, it's definitely where that second act is where the plot shows like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a lot of convenient things happening right now.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of convenient things happening right now. Is there anything else you didn't like about this movie?
I wrote down they could have explored more into the characters and who they were. But I know that would have made the movie way too long. And they wanted to focus on the relationships that the MCU Peter Parker, Tom Holland had with his people. So I get it. I really feel like the way they kind of started to do that Harry Osborn story arc there, where he was like dementia, settling in and working with Aunt May at Feast. Like, I'm interested in more about that storyline. I was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's talk about this old man out of time, losing his self, losing his brain. He doesn't have his family. He's literally lost everything. And that's why he's driven now to like get help. Like, that made more sense, but they like abandoned it as soon as they started it. And I was like, dang, this was a beautiful, that would have made it probably closer to a 10 for me if it wasn't just, okay, we're here, we're villains, let's go. But I realized why they had to do it for time's sake. That would have needed a whole nother movie to set up and pay off. I get it.
Yeah.
But that's all my nitpicking there. It was a great movie.
Okay, because I wanted to make sure that you weren't asking for too much, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. That's what it sounded like to me in the beginning. It sounded like you literally got Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back as Spider-Man, but you weren't satisfied. It sounded like you wanted more after that. And I'm just like, the fact that this happened, like, dude, they must have been talking about this for years, man. Planning this out, it must have taken a very long time. So this is something that everyone's kind of had to hold on to for a long time. And yeah, being honest, if Sony did a better job hiding this freaking movie, the experience would have been better. If whole like scenes didn't get leaked, then this movie would have felt better. I don't think it takes away from the story, but it definitely takes away from the experience. Like, I don't think we'll see another movie that gets leaked like this since like the next Avengers movie. You know what I mean? Like, I will say on our part as the fans, we should have let this movie relax a little bit. We should have let this movie, we shouldn't have kept trying to find Daredevil. We shouldn't have kept trying to find Andrew and Toby. We shouldn't have kept trying to find all the villains. Like, we should have just kind of let it happen, you know? And imagine if we had never even thought of Toby and Andrew coming back. Imagine that. But everyone was expecting it, and Sony let them expect it. That was actually where I draw the line, is where Sony actually did a horrible job telling us no. Andrew Garfield was the only one going around saying no. Tom Holland kept dodging the questions. Sony never took any of the leaks down. I'm like, dude, like,
it's I think that's where we're at. Is MCU, dude, you remember, I was, put this on record, absolutely devastated when people started fading away at the end of Infinity War.
Yeah.
When I tell you my heart hurt, like for real, was in total shock, because we knew something was going to happen, right? Because there was going to be a part 2. But in the moment, I really wasn't even thinking like that. I was so involved in this storyline. What's happening? Thanos is here. He's wrecking face. And when it happened, I was like, dang, everything that happened in this movie was stuff we already expected.
Yeah.
And I think, like you said, it's the fans' fault, because we wanted to know so much. I blame COVID, because everybody was home. Everybody was being an internet detective, internet sleuths. We figured this movie out a long time ago. We were theorizing on top of the theories, to the points where we were expecting Galactus to show up in different situations. I will say this, though, about the movie, too, though, is we are seeing how the MCU is handling Spider-Man. And even more so, the Spider-Man movies are not, again, directly affecting the MCU per se, because Spider-Man's multiverse breaking situation that he just had happen only affected Spider-Man universes.
You're right.
The villains that were trying to come through from the multiverse, you saw Rhino, you saw Scorpion, you saw Kraven, you saw all these Spider-Man villains. You could have, you know what I mean? If it wanted to be an MCU thing, you could have showed the Fantastic Four villain, you know, Dr. Doom looking through or something like that. But again, it was only Spider-Man.
Yeah. And it was only Spider-Man, now that you mention it. And that's not the biggest problem to me. I mean, yeah, we would have liked to like do it more, you know what I mean? I would have loved to have done it more, but I can't help but forgive this movie. I really can't help but forgive this movie.
Now, is that a Spider-Man bias? Is that a Spider-Man bias? Because if we flip this situation and it was Fantastic Four working with multi-dimensionals, and it was just Michael B. Jordan and Chris Evans sharing Human Torch jokes.
Yeah, I think there might be a little Spider-Man bias in there.
Okay, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
That was a good
I'll
catch.
take that one. I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to touch on was just how this movie ended with Peter back at ground zero, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited. Nobody knows he's Spider-Man. Oh my God, it's been so long since nobody knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man, dude. No, Ned doesn't know. MJ doesn't know. The Avengers don't know he's not an Avenger anymore. He is back at ground zero. He's lost everybody. Aunt May dead, Uncle Ben dead, Tony dead, Happy don't know him. He's in a dirt broke apartment looking like he's from Spider-Man 2. Just boxes and rent's due at the end of the month. How is he gonna make rent? He's got to take pictures for J. Jonah Jameson. And he's in college. Did he get into MIT? I don't know. I hope he gets into ESU. Because that's where Peter Parker goes to college in the comics, Empire State University.
Okay.
And, that's where he meets Gwen Stacy, and that's where Harry Osborn really is live. And I want this next trilogy for him to be like, once he meets a Harry Osborn and once he meets a Norman Osborn, he can be like, okay, the other versions of you guys were evil. I'm gonna do my best to save you guys and to make sure you're not, you don't turn out like villains, and eventually they will have to. But to see that story arc, that's a very interesting story arc. What did you think about how they ended this movie?
I liked it. I liked Spider because I think that's been my biggest situation with MCU characters is because of Iron Man and all the other resources they had with SHIELD. Like nobody had a need for anything. Nobody actually, you know what I'm saying? When Falcon needed a new suit, it was just provided for him. Like state of the art, everything was right there. And so like with Spider-Man, like he literally had that fabricator, whatever suit he wanted to make, he literally just made it. And it was just like, man, like Spider-Man's more so about the character not being able to, and then finding a way to. This dude literally had instant kill mode that he was activating, when need be, which is great for the Outriders, but not so great when you're in New York City battling regular villains. I like the idea, but I literally just thought of this question though, with the spell. The spell was to make people forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, right? But the spell is not to make people forget who Peter Parker is. Right?
No, this next spell was no. So they clarified at the end, Doctor Strange was like, everybody's gonna forget who you, Peter Parker. Everyone's gonna forget Peter Parker. So they do specify at the end that it is just Peter Parker in whole is just gonna be forgotten. That's why he says goodbye to MJ, and that's why he says goodbye to Ned. Because why say goodbye if they were just gonna forget about the Spider-Man part? You know what I mean?
Okay.
We just talked about a lot. I would say this movie delivers everything we wanted from this movie. We got, unless you wanted outlandish stuff like like some of the X-Men. X-Men. I know that's what you said last time was welcome home X-Men. They didn't show up in this one. When are they gonna show up? I have no clue, bro.
At this point, they're just not gonna use them. They're gonna sell them back. They're gonna sell them to 20th Century Studios.
20th Searchlight Studios.
You own Fox rights now. Family, thank you for watching another episode of Multiverse Media with your boy Monty McFly, aka D Mickey the Montre, and my partner
JP, aka Miles Morales, aka Jaden Prince Productions, but you could just call me Jaden.
Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, follow, call us, email us, text me, smoke signal, get our attention. We want to know what you thought about this movie because we know you saw it. We want to make sure we hear what you think and what's coming up next for Spider-Man, what's coming up next for Doctor Strange, what's coming up next for Elephants. That's just on my wall. But whatever's coming up next in the multiverse, we want to know about it. We want to hear from you so we can talk about it and talk about it with you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming on. We love you guys. We'll see you later.